Good evening, everyone. How are you today? So yeah, I just thought I'd jump on again, do another live. I want to help you guys, so please feel free to ask me questions. Ask me as many questions as you want. It's easy, difficult. If you think they're silly or anything, just ask me any questions you've got, and I will answer as best as I can, as honestly as I can, and give you as much detail in my response as possible. But basically, the topic of today, I'm going to talk about Christmas. So kind of like my thoughts and approaches to Christmas, and a few ways that you can approach Christmas for yourself too, to either to manage it as best as possible for you. So there's no kind of right or wrong way to do it. It just depends on how you want to approach Christmas, really. Everyone's different. Everyone looks at it a different way. Everyone's got different things they want to prioritise, and that's absolutely fine. But I just want to give you guys a bit of a wider understanding of what you can do and how you can look at it. So if you've got any questions along the way, drop them in. I'll answer. But if you don't, then I'll just keep talking about the couple of approaches that I like to look at and I like to offer people in the run-up to Christmas and kind of other big events as well. So let's get started. So kind of, I think the first rule of Christmas, the one that I tell everyone, like, enjoy it. Christmas is a time to be around your friends, your family. It's a time to enjoy like food that's only around really like once a year. So don't, the last thing you should be doing is panicking about what you eat, how much you eat, or like kind of what food you're eating and what time you're eating it. Like that's not the time to worry about it. There are times across the year to focus on your weight loss and fat loss and fitness. And Christmas is probably the least efficient one to look at. So I would always prioritise enjoying your Christmas, enjoying time with family and friends and the time you have together. Prioritise that rather than your fitness and fat loss and weight loss especially. But again, you have to, however you approach it, you have to be aware of and you have to accept the consequences of your actions and what you do and how you approach it. Like I said, there's no right or wrong way to go around Christmas or go about Christmas. But I just feel like if you guys have got a better understanding of the consequences of it, then you've got a better informed decision that you can make. So my thoughts around Christmas basically are, like, Christmas is probably 1 to 2 weeks. Say like the 20th of December until the beginning of January. So you go like from the beginning of 20th of December up until say the 2nd, 3rd of January. That's about a 2-week period where you're gonna enjoy a bit of food, have a few more drinks than usual, maybe indulge in a few more chocolates and snacks around the house, and eat maybe a few more pigs in blankets than you would normally eat if, do you know what I mean, like at any other roast dinner, stuff like that. So it's 1 to 2 weeks. You don't need to have more than that. What I often see is people like see December as Christmas, the whole month as Christmas, and then Christmas becomes 4 to 6 weeks. And in 4 to 6 weeks, you can consume a lot of calories, and you can kind of neglect your goals and what you want to achieve. You can really go off track in 4 to 6 weeks. Whereas 1 to 2 weeks is such a short amount of time. You can still have a great time over Christmas, but you're not kind of creating any negative effects on your progress you made so far or any future progress you could make. Whereas if you think, right, 1st December, fuck it, mince pies come out, mulled wine comes out, start eating what you want, drinking what you want, and just giving up on the gym, like, you're just going to either pause where you are or go backwards from the progress you've made in the last few months. That's not what we want to do. We want to maintain the progress, or if at all, progress even further. So that's how I think Christmas should be. Look at it as 1 to 2 weeks from the 20th of December onwards. Depends on how much you and your family and friends celebrate Christmas. Some people just like it to be 5 days, really like close knit 5 days. Some people like to spread it out over a bit longer time. And either way is fine. But I just don't think Christmas should or have to be a 4 to 6 week thing. I get that it's very exciting and you want to, like, especially if you've got children, it's very exciting. You go out and you can go see Santa and go ice skate and then go to the Christmas market and everything like that. And there are loads of temptations around it, but it doesn't have to be a 4 week kind of fuck it, give up, binge on everything. So there, that's kind of how the first rule is kind of enjoy Christmas, but also don't just like completely disregard all of your goals and your work so far this year. So yeah, that's pretty much how I like to see Christmas. So there's a few approaches that I want to go through with people. So if you've got any questions about, if you agree with me, disagree, if you don't understand what I'm saying, please let me know and I will delve deeper into it and explain it a bit further for you if needed. And the approaches that I'm talking about, they're not necessarily the right way to go around it. And you can pick and choose bits from different ones and mix it in together. But it's up to you. So, approach one, kind of the fuck it approach. Chocolate for breakfast is the first hurdle. Yeah, advent calendars aren't the best for kind of setting the day off in a great way. Obviously, it's great to have chocolate for breakfast, but it can easily lead into more chocolate throughout the day. But a little bit of chocolate, an advent calendar is great because a little bit of chocolate every day, it's nice, it's enjoyable, but it's not going to derail your progress. It kind of emphasises what I like to teach about. If you enjoy a little bit of food here and there, it's not going to derail you completely. If you completely remove it and then you have loads of it in one go, you're more likely to kind of over consume those calories in that one feeding point rather than if you just have a little bit here and there across the month. But yeah, anyway, so the fuck it approach. So I get this year, it's been a shit year and you want to enjoy Christmas however you want, and that's absolutely fine. I'm not gonna tell you what to do, and especially this year, I'm not gonna say to you, like, watch your calories, be sensible. If it's been a shit year, if you need Christmas to lift your spirits, finish the year on a high, if you need to do that, then that's fine. Then the fuck it approach may be what you go for, and that's, like I said, there's no wrong answer, there's no wrong choice. But you may like forget your steps, ignore your calories, and you just delve into the box of heroes, the box of Quality Street. You just enjoy Christmas however you want with like no thought about fat loss or weight loss or progress. It's absolutely fine. There's no issue with that. And like I said, this year, no one would blame you for doing that. It's absolutely fine. But what I want to say is focus on the consequences, and well, not focus on, but think about the consequences that come from that attitude. So if you go into, say, the 1 to 2 weeks of Christmas and go, fuck it, I'm just going to eat what I want, drink what I want, enjoy myself, not worry about calories or weight or anything, do it. But know the consequences are that you probably will gain some weight over Christmas. You probably gain some fat. It's going to be harder to get back into a healthy routine when it comes to January. And you will most likely lose some of the progress that you've gained over the last 1, 2, 3, 4 months that you've been working hard for. As long as you can accept and you think the payoff is worth that extra chocolate and drinks over Christmas, that's absolutely fine. Do it, go for it. But just be aware that you are sacrificing those things to enjoy more over Christmas. Like I said, I'm not going to tell you to do anything specific, but if you want to enjoy yourself and say 2 weeks of December between Christmas and New Year, I'm just going to eat what I want, drink what I want, and not have any worries about calories, that's fine. Just be aware that it can lead to weight loss, bit of weight gain, bit of fat gain, loss in fitness, harder to get back into routine, maybe a little bit of loss of confidence in your body because you maybe gained a little bit of weight. As long as you're okay with that, and there's nothing wrong with that, as long as you can accept it for yourself, then by all means enjoy Christmas, enjoy every last Quality Street in the tin. That's fine. But what I see a lot of times, people have that fuck it approach to Christmas, then they get a bit disheartened and a bit downbeat that they find it so hard in January, they gain weight over Christmas and they feel bad about themselves. You made the choices to do that, so just own up to your choices, be responsible for what you did, and then move forward with it. As long as you know the outcome of your actions, then I think the choice you make is a well-informed one, and that's fine. So then approach 2 is kind of the progressive approach. So you be sensible, but don't go crazy over Christmas. So you stick to your deficit or your maintenance calories for the first week to 2 to 3 weeks in December. And then you go to maintenance over Christmas. So you stay in your deficit from the 1st to say the 20th. And you're only about, say, 10% deficit. Then that 1 to 2 weeks over Christmas, you go into a maintenance phase where you're eating enough calories to pretty much stay the same weight. So we're not going to make any progress in those 2 weeks over Christmas, but also we're not going to go backwards at all. So overall, we're still making progress in December. So 2 weeks in a deficit plus 2 weeks in maintenance still equals kind of a net gain towards our goal, if that makes sense. So that's something you can do. Be sensible for the first 2 to 3 weeks in December. Up your calories slightly, so maybe by 5, 10 or 15% of what you were eating. So when you go back to the BMR that we calculated at the beginning, before you take off your deficit, that could be your calorie target over Christmas. You're going to give yourself 1, 2, maybe 300 extra calories a day and still not gain any weight from that. So you've got the benefit of eating more food without eating into the deficit you've already built, without eating into the progress you've already made. So you kind of get the best of both worlds. So you enjoy more food, but you're not losing the progress. But you're probably going to limit a little bit of that fuck it approach. You can't eat everything in sight. You've got to be a little bit sensible, but you have a bit more freedom and flexibility. And also, you're not going to make as much progress as you made the previous month because you're not in a deficit for the whole 4 to 5 weeks. But you're still making some progress. So you're making some compromises, but you're still making progress in both areas. Cool. And then, no one's got any questions yet. I'm here to answer your questions. Cool. And then the last approach is similar to the one I just talked about. But it's kind of the best of both. So say if you're in a 10% deficit in November or now, you could maybe increase your deficit into, say if you're on 10% deficit now, you go up to the 15%, or if you really want to go for it, go into the 20% deficit. That's quite an aggressive deficit and it could be hard for you to stick to. But what it will do, if you do that for 2 to 3 weeks, up until the 20th of December, go into an aggressive, harsh deficit. If you go to maintenance or slightly above maintenance over the 2 weeks of Christmas, it should level out quite nicely. So the calories you save at the beginning of the month, you can then spend over Christmas. So you almost get the 2 weeks of fuck it at the end, where you can enjoy what you want because you know you've earned those calories, you saved it up and you can spend them here. But you have to put the work in, you have to save the calories at the beginning of the month. So you kind of get the best of both. So that's kind of my 3 approaches to Christmas that you can do. One where you keep what you're doing and go into it as you are, and then over Christmas just have 2 weeks off. 1 to 2 weeks off out of the year is nothing. So there's still 50 weeks in the year to make progress. You don't have to make it 52 weeks of constantly deficit. Those 2 weeks are not going to outdo the 50 that have come before. So don't worry about that. And what else is there? But then also you can go into a maintenance over Christmas where you're allowing a few more calories than usual, but you're not completely giving up almost on your goals. So you get a little bit more flexibility, a little bit more freedom, a few more calories to play with, but you're not going crazy. Or if you reduce your calories a bit more at the beginning of the month and then spend a few more at the end of the month, overall it should balance out quite nice and you're going to still make progress. So you've got a few options that you can do. And like I said at the beginning, you can go from, you can take a little bit from option A, a little bit from option C, and a little bit from option B. Mix it up. It's going to suit you in different ways. And you may go into Christmas and think, I like Mitch's option 3, where it's best of both worlds. I'm going to go to aggressive deficit for 2 weeks before Christmas so I can enjoy more calories over Christmas. You might get into that for 2 or 3 days and go, actually, fuck this is really hard, I can't do it. Just go back to your normal calories again, and then maybe try the progressive approach where you keep to your normal deficit and just go to maintenance over Christmas. It doesn't have to be a rigid, strict plan that you go, right, this is my plan and I'll stick to it. If it's not working for you, tweak it, change it, and mix the two together. Right, I've got a few questions. How much extra water do you need to drink to counteract the amount of alcohol you're drinking? I don't actually know the exact number for that, but probably like, I don't know. I'm gonna have to look that up and find out now, but I'll let you know. I'll post it in there afterwards. But it makes sense to almost match it, I would say. Not match it, but maybe half. So if you're having, for every pint of beer you have, maybe half pint of water, for example. Because alcohol is still, most alcohol is still made up of mostly water. So it's still putting some water into your body, but the alcohol side of it will dehydrate you. So you have to think about that, but I'm going to look into it and find out, and I'll let you know. Because I want to know the exact answer to that, so that'd be actually quite helpful, especially over Christmas. What else can we do to get our steps up if it's raining? So no one likes walking in the rain, it's pretty shit. But you can either walk around your house. Sounds really silly, but if you're working from home and you've got an office upstairs in the office space or in a bedroom, and you have to go get a drink or go get a cup of tea, like go downstairs, when the kettle's boiling, just walk around the house. I know it sounds stupid, it sounds boring, but like if you're not willing to go outside and walk in the rain for 10-20 minutes, you might have to be a little bit boring and walk around the house a little bit. Another thing is, if you are in the office space or at home, if possible, and you're on a call, but on the call, if you don't have to look at a screen for any kind of information or data or anything, and you don't have to be on screen for Zoom or a camera, why don't you get up and walk around on the phone? If you're in a phone call, can you get up, can you walk around the house, can you walk around the office and talk? That's another option. If you're upstairs in an office or in the house, if you've got a toilet upstairs or downstairs and you're working in the opposite side, go to the furthest toilet. If you're working upstairs and then you've got a toilet downstairs, go down there rather than go next door to the toilet. Just go downstairs to the toilet and come back up. Those few extra steps up and down kind of really add up over the day. Especially if you're drinking more water, it's making you go to the toilet more often, you're going to get more steps going up and down to the toilet. So, but yeah, I do get that it's hard when it's raining, but there are a few things you can do. How do you manage calories and steps over Christmas without losing the fun of Xmas? So I do understand that counting calories can get tedious, it can get a little bit boring here and there. But I think this is what I said at the beginning of the 7-day group. Use MyFitnessPal and tracking as a tool. So if you have toast for breakfast every day, you put in your toast and your butter and your Marmite, for example, you're going to learn how many calories are in that each day. So over time, you're going to go, so I know there's roughly 250 calories in my breakfast every day. 2 slices of bread, a bit of butter, a bit of Marmite, about 250 calories. You know that. That's going to stick in your head a little bit. If you start doing that with more and more meals, you start building this kind of subconscious database in your head where you know roughly that a jack of potato is going to be this amount of calories, a bit of chicken is that amount of calories, a bar of chocolate is that amount of calories. You start to build this little knowledge in your head. So when you go into Christmas and you've got a piece of meat or a nut roast or whatever, you can kind of have a bit of a guess. You can have a good guesstimate of how many calories or the size of it and stuff like that. And then you do same for potatoes and Yorkshire pudding. You don't have to track every single thing, but you can use the app and the memory of your food you've had before to have a little guess. I almost would say you don't have to track calories over Christmas. Like I said, 1 to 2 weeks, it's not going to undo 50 weeks of hard work for the year. And it's not going to undo the next 50 weeks into next year. So having a week of tracking is not the end of the world. You can do it. I would suggest keeping your Fitbit on, or your like step tracker watch, or just be conscious of your steps, because if you are gonna eat more calories than usual, which we are all gonna do over Christmas, because naturally that's what you're gonna do. If you're gonna do that, then also sit down and do nothing. You're almost doubling the damage you're doing to yourself, because you're increasing how many calories you're eating, but you're lowering how many calories you're burning. So you're doubling the damage. You're making this gap bigger, which is going to be more calories held in our body. So if your calories are going up, try and keep this where it is, so that gap is not as big as if you're lazy. What are your thoughts on intermittent fasting? I personally really like it. So another tactic to dieting, but it can be very effective, especially for parents, just because if you got to get up and you got to like chase the kids and get them ready for nursery and school and whatever, then you got to think about getting yourself breakfast. Just skipping breakfast is quite an easy answer to that. There's no I would say there's no like magical benefits to intermittent fasting. It's like there's claims that it can help your hormone levels and kind of mental clarity and stuff like that, which it could have some, and I think it works different on different people, so giving it a go would be my advice. Always trial things for yourself. But pretty much intermittent fasting, you're skipping a meal. So if you're going to skip breakfast, and say you have 300 calories per meal, you skip breakfast, you've saved those 300 calories, and you can just pick them up, move them into your dinner, so you can have a bigger dinner, bigger lunch, or a snack in the afternoon. So over Christmas, it's something that I do, and I do it on holiday as well. I like to get up, and I try not to have, I say this, but last holiday I went on, I had big breakfast. But if you get up and don't have breakfast, or have a smaller breakfast, it just means you've got more calories later in the day. And if you think about in a holiday or in Christmas, most of your calories are going to be consumed in the afternoon and evening. So if you skip breakfast or have a smaller breakfast, you're just going to put more calories in the evening, which means you can enjoy the food in the evening, eat the food you like, and limit the amount of risk you're going to go over your calories. Does that help? Hopefully. Yeah, so calorie, well, like I said, if you've used MyFitnessPal for a while and you start to get a bit of a grasp of how many calories in the food you eat, you don't then have to track every single thing, because you kind of know what is in certain foods. So you don't have to track every meal, snack, biscuit, chocolate over Christmas, because you kind of know roughly what they are. But again, also, 1 to 2 weeks over a year, you don't have to track every single day. Or if you want to track a little bit over Christmas, you don't have to track Christmas Day, one day. So if you're going to gain 1 pound of fat, so 1 pound of fat is the equivalent of 3,500 calories. So if you're going to gain 1 pound of fat, that means you have to eat 3,500 calories on top of your maintenance calories. So the BMR and TDEE that we worked out beginning of this week, you have to eat 3,500 on top of that to gain 1 pound of fat. And I think the average person consumes about 5,000 calories on Christmas Day. So if you're the average female and your calorie target is about 1,500, then you're probably around maybe gaining that over one day. But don't freak out and think, oh shit, I'm going to gain a pound of fat on Christmas Day because I eat so much. It's going to level out across the month and across the 6 months and across the year. So that one day is not going to completely derail you and ruin all your progress. It's one day. It's not going to ruin things. And I always like, when I talk to my clients, I always like to talk about calories and like money. So if you go out for a shopping trip with the girls one day, and you buy a pair of shoes and a handbag, and then you go out drinking and you spend loads of money on tequila shots, whatever. If you spend, say, 3/4 of your month's salary in one day, like, you think, fuck, that's a lot of money I've just spent. And in that one instance, it looks like a lot of money. Across the year, it's not that big of an impact. So if you look at that one day, yes, it will look like your calories are spiked really high, but across the month and across the few months, it's not as bad when it levels out with the deficit you've been in. Does that make sense at all? So yeah, and if you overspend if you spend too much on something one month, all you're going to do next month is just save a little bit extra or pull things back a little bit more, be a little bit more strict on what you spend, and that's all you're going to do with calories. If you plan to go sensibly over Christmas and it doesn't go to plan and you go slightly over the calories you wanted to have, in January just reduce them a little bit more. That's all it's going to be. It's not a big it's not the end of the world. It's not going to be a big panic. Just reduce them again and wait a little bit of time until it levels out. That's all you got to do. So any more questions? Oh, there we go. How many calories do you think I eat? Do I think I eat in pigs in blankets? So I don't think it was last year, I think it was the year before. My mum, I think she bought about 100 pigs in blankets, and I'm pretty sure I ate about 2/3 of them. So how many is that? Don't know. A lot. I can eat a lot. I can eat pigs in blankets all day. Like, I just pick at them all day. I have about 10 on my plate for Christmas dinner, and then I just pick at them all day. She bought 200. Okay, so mum bought 200, and I still think I ate about 2/3 of them across the whole family. It's not my fault. She cooks. So at a normal Christmas dinner, my mum will cook food, and we have like a hot plate, and it just stays hot all the time. So some things get cooked first; they just stay warm. But pigs in blankets are one of the first things that kind of get cooked. So I can just pick as I walk past. I can pick. And I'll pretend to be nice, and I'll pretend to be a good son and a good family member. I'll go around asking Nan, do you want a cup of tea? Asking the cousins if they want a drink. So I'll pop to the kitchen every 5 minutes, only so I can pop in and get a pig in blanket every trip. Trip into the kitchen, pig in blanket. Trip back into the front room, pig in blanket. But I will happily consume a lot of calories over Christmas because I enjoy eating, and it's part of almost the tradition of our family. Like, there's loads of food, family there, and I would much rather enjoy that day and gain a bit of weight than feel bad about eating too much or having too many calories. Christmas isn't about calories. Christmas should be about, like I said, friends, family, like good times and whatever. There are times across the year to lose weight, and I would just say that Christmas is probably the worst time to do that. So don't feel pressured to lose weight over Christmas. I've given you some options you can go in for to limit how many calories you eat or how much fat you gain. But the first thing I said on the slide, if you missed it, was enjoy Christmas. That's the most important thing, especially after this year. If you've had a bad year, we haven't seen our friends and family as much. If you get a chance to see them in bubble situations or whatever, enjoy it. There's more to life than calories. There's more to life than weight loss. Especially over Christmas, especially in 2020. So enjoy yourself, but just don't think that you don't have to say fuck it for the whole month to enjoy yourself. So just think about the consequences of what your actions will have, pretty much. Yeah, I'm not the sort of PT that will go, no, you've got to have chicken and broccoli for Christmas dinner, that's it. I want you guys to have fun, enjoy yourselves, and come back into 2021 in January, having had the best Christmas you possibly can this year, ready to smash 2021. That's how I see it. Enjoy yourself, have fun, come back motivated and prepared for the next year. Nice. So, last questions, and then I'm going to shoot, because I've just got in from the gym, I've had a workout, and I'm starving. So, your last chance to get some questions in, and then I'm going to go get some food. No questions? I'll wait a little bit longer. I think there's a few people behind to see if I missed any. Chocolate for breakfast, yeah. My mum's got an advent calendar for me at my mum's house. So I've got to go around every day. She can throw it at me from the window. Well, they haven't been around for a couple of days. So, although I can imagine, so my mum's a foster carer. She's got a couple of kids with her. So I'm not expecting my chocolate to last very long if I don't go around very regularly. I can imagine it getting eaten quite quickly. Whoa. Did that last time as well. Not very good at this. I need to get a stand. Cool. So, if there's no more questions, I'm going to get some food. If you've got any questions and you're watching this after it's live, leave a comment or message me directly and I'll answer as best as I can. Yeah. Also, leave me some feedback if you want about the group, if you're enjoying it, if there's something you're missing or something you're confused about, let me know. I'm going to help you guys as much as possible. We've got until Tuesday to use me, abuse me, do whatever you want to do. Just get as much information out of me as possible. I'm here to help, so take advantage of having me, really. Like I said at the beginning, I just want to help you guys. I want to give you guys as much information as possible to help you feel as confident, knowledgeable, and like kind of prepared for Christmas and beyond for your weight loss, fat loss, fitness goals. So I'll see you all later, and I'm doing a live Monday, so I'll see you all again Monday, and that'll be the last one. So that'll really be your last chance to get the questions into me. So until then, I'll see you later. Enjoy yourselves and have a nice weekend. Bye.